Thanks very much for clicking on the video link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin with Marketing Resolution, and I help mediators and arbitrators all over the world to design, build, and promote their practices. I want to talk to you today about 14 items that I've made a list of writing tools, techniques, etc., that you can do to promote your practice if you've only got a few minutes to spare. So if you're between hearings, you're driving down the freeway, whatever the situation might be, here's a list of 14 things that you might consider in order to market and promote your practice using your writing skills. Writing is one of the primary ways that we build a practice. It establishes us as a credible authority. It creates an evergreen product that we can put on our website, that we can, use on social media. It's something that can be reused time and time again. Writing is a really strong and easy way for a lot of us to build our practices. So if you're short on time, like lots of us are, and you've only got a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes, between hearings, a few minutes at lunch or while you're driving, here's some things that you might consider. So let's start first with this idea that before you write anything, it's always a good idea to make a list of all of those publications that the organizations and associations to which your primary, secondary, or tertiary target market contacts belong. So look at who are your clients. Now, make a list of all of the places that they congregate, all of their associations and organizations, and within those associations and organizations, what do they have available for you to use and leverage? Maybe they have a blog, maybe they have social media accounts, maybe they compile articles in a library format. Look and see what they've got. Maybe it's an email newsletter. It could be any number of things. But go through your list of associations and organizations and see what writing opportunities are available. And while you're making those lists, you want to be sure that you note who the editors are, who the other contributing authors are. And one of the most important things you can do is really read the past few issues of what has been published so that you understand best what is their tone, what is their content, who are the other contributing authors. How can you either complement what they already have or make yourself stand apart, make your own story different? And that's really important, to set yourself apart from the others. And you don't have to be contrary. You don't have to say, well, here's the other side of the story kind of thing. You can be very polite in it, but set your article apart from the others. And when you make this list, you can keep it in any format that is easy or comfortable for you. It could be on Outlook, Excel, Google Contacts, however it's easiest drilled through by you. It could be recipe cards in an old shoebox. Doesn't make any difference. You just want to be sure that you make the list and that you regularly go back and identify the editor, what it is that they look for, what is the tone, what is the culture, and then you can best respond. So that's one thing that you can do if you've only got a few minutes in a day's time. Let's go down to the second one. The second thing that you might consider after you've read some of those publications is to make a list of whether they are pro-mediation, pro-arbitration, they're against mediation, against arbitration, and think about the strategy. Think about what, again, you can either complement or what you can add to fill a void. So maybe they've had a year's worth of one kind of article, and you see that there's a glaring mistake or a glaring void, and you can fill that. So think about creating a strategy. You could do that just for one organization and association, or you could do that across all of the associations and organizations that you've noted in your database. And that way you know which of them have a long scientific paper-sized article content, which of them are short blog pieces. So if you've only got a few minutes, you could write just a blog for this group. This group might prefer that you work in collaboration with other members, and that takes a lot more time. So figure out what kind of article they want, where it can go, and what your strategy might be. All right, here's another idea for all of you that are writers. And I know it's something that isn't very often thought of as traditional writing, but it can be just as persuasive, and that is to perfect your email signature. So we all send, some of us, hundreds and hundreds of emails in a day's time. You want to make sure that that represents you in the best light. This is your calling card. This is your ambassador when you are not there face to face. So make sure that your email signature really is exactly what it needs to be for your practice. It should be current. It should be complete. It should be graphically appealing. You can add into your email signature some hyperlinks to your website or to your social media accounts. You could use social media icons instead to encourage your readers or the recipients of your email to connect with you on social media, or to look at your website and read your blog or watch your YouTube videos. You might want to provide a link if you keep an online calendaring system for prospective clients. Put in your calendaring link. Obviously, you could include your company logo or your business photograph. But all of those things are possibilities. Having said that, though, you do want to keep your signature short, clear, clean looking, so that it's tidy. And a really easy solution is to use honeybooks.com. That's www.honeybooks.com. And for free, you can upload your logo, you can upload your photograph, you can include your social media icons, you can include your brand colors, lots of different choices. And I think that there are 6, maybe 8 different templates you can use. And they just send you an email that says, here, copy and paste this into your email management system, Outlook, Google, etc., and you're good to go. So think about perfecting your email signature. Again, it's not typically something that we think of as writing, but since it is so frequently associated with those things that we write, give it a look. All right, item line number 4 has also to do with your email and writing. And a lot of us use autoresponders. They're fantastic. I'm using one right now while I'm taking a short break. An autoresponder can be more than just an out-of-office reply. It can be used in an authentic way to really communicate with the people who regularly send you emails. It could be that you want to set an autoresponder that says something like, I'm in mediations all day. Between hearings, I will check my email. If this is something urgent, I'll get back to you right away. Otherwise, expect to hear from me tomorrow morning. So it could be just for today, just for the moment. If you're going to be stepping away for longer than just today, a vacation autoresponder, then you'll want to change the subject line to something more than just autoresponder or out of office. Those don't get read. People just delete them as they, fill our email inboxes. The autoresponders that get read are those autoresponders wherein we customize the subject line, and then you write a response that says, hi, this is Natalie. I'm out of the office for the next 2 weeks. And for, let's see, I think the last one that I sent out was, hi, this is Natalie Armstrong. I'm out of the office for the long weekend, celebrating Bastille Day in France. I'll get to your email as soon as I'm back at my desk. Under that, then, I wrote a PS that was about 5 paragraphs long that explained exactly what Bastille Day was. So for all of my clients who weren't familiar with the history of Bastille Day, if you weren't so inclined, you could read a very short summation of what it is that the French are celebrating and why I'm taking, a long weekend. That's one way you can use an autoresponder. You could use an autoresponder to say, hi, I'm not in the office right now. Please use my online calendaring link to schedule some time for us next week, and send people to your online calendar. You could use an autoresponder that says, hi, I'm not in the office right now. If you're a client and looking for forms, please log on to my website, click this link, and you'll find all of the forms necessary to continue our casework together. Lots of different choices for autoresponders, but just setting the out-of-office reply is a terrible waste of an incredible product that you could leverage. All right, next, and a bit more traditionally, thought number 5 is start a blog. Lots of people have them. They're very effective. On your website, you simply add another page and blog. Blogs are generally very short. They're a bit more chatty. Of course, you can cite cases if you wish, but they're traditionally more sort of kitchen English, less white paper. And you can blog a paragraph, a sentence, 2 paragraphs, etc. If you're going to start a blog, though, I would recommend that you really think about whether or not you can dedicate yourself to writing on a regular basis, week after week, month after month. Can you really sustain that? It's for some of us not difficult. Some of us have created strategies so that when we have a little extra downtime, we write 2, 3, 5, 10 blogs, and then we schedule them to roll out on a regular basis. That works really well. You can use Canva, www.canva.com, to help you with that kind of thing. You can use Hootsuite. There are lots of different systems that can help you schedule and promote those things over time. One of the tricky things about blogs is that a lot of us, with the best of intentions, we say, oh, well, I will blog every Friday at noon. And then, life happens and we don't set up the Hootsuite or we don't set up the Canva, and then there are gaps. And then the gap gets bigger and it's easy for us to justify or create excuses or reasons why, well, it's been already 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, I can just sort of drop it. The challenge with that is that when a prospective client goes to your website to do some social proofing and they say, oh, Natalie's got a blog, but gosh, she hasn't published anything for months and months and months. I wonder if she's still in business. So if you think that might be the case with you and that you might have a challenge keeping your blog current or really following a very strict and regimented schedule, either with the help of software or not, choose the option on the back end of your website that it doesn't disclose the date of publication. Instead, it's just a list of all of the articles that you've written, so that you get the credit for having written the article and not the demerits, I guess is, for lack of a better word, the demerits for not being consistently publishing your blog. But a blog is great. Use it on your website, use those same articles on your social media platforms. You also, once you've got the written piece, can always read your article into a video and create a video from the written piece. All right. So number 6 on our list. And this one's a bit bigger, and I promised you that these were tasks that you could accomplish in short bursts of time in between meetings or other things. And so what I'm going to say next might sound a little counterintuitive, but I promise that it really is doable, and that is write a book. So if you've just got a few minutes today, sit down and think about what it is that your primary target market would like to read about. What book have you read that was originally designed for them and you just thought, wow, that author missed it on all bases. I could do so much better. Think about what kind of book they really need. Then next time you've got 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour, think about what the chapters might be. Think about an outline and just sit down and loosely put together an outline. After that, think about, during those extra 20, 30 minutes, the first chapter. Outline the first chapter. And if you start writing a book and you just do it piece by piece by piece, building block after building block after building block, before you know it, you've written a book in 15, 20, 30 minutes a day. It's not that difficult. So even though it seems like an enormous and maybe daunting task, if you just take it in bite-sized pieces, you could have a book finished before the end of the year. When I talk to clients about writing books, they always say, well, who would want to publish a book of mine? And you can absolutely make a list of various publishing houses that are most appropriate for our industry, but you can also, for little to no money, publish it yourself on Amazon. So you can buy and register the ISBN number, and you can create the artwork for the cover and the back page and the spine of the binding on, again, canva.com. It's obvious by now I love that software. And you can upload your PDF of your book and upload the graphics to Amazon.com, and you set the prices. They do all the shipping, they do all the printing. You don't do anything but log on and see what kind of money is coming through your bank account. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to establish yourself as a credible authority on this particular subject matter. All right, let's go to number 7. Number 7 is write a workbook. And so it might be that your clients or prospective clients would benefit from a little self-help interaction. If that's true for your practice, you might want to think about writing a workbook that they could use and keep, or maybe be able to use in sessions. This might be something for those of us who have unrepresented clients, primarily to use this kind of tool. But think about writing a pre-mediation or a pre-arbitration workbook that you or the advocates in the room can give to the parties so that they can better understand the process, better understand how you can serve their needs, or what it is that you expect of them. It doesn't have to be a massive project. Again, start slow. You've got 15, 20 minutes today. Sit down and think about what kind of workbook would be of best benefit to them, to your clients, to the parties, to everybody in the room. And then again, you've got another 15, 20 minutes later this week. Think about outlining what would be in that workbook. And then start going chapter by chapter, bit by bit. Every time you've got a few minutes here and there. And again, before you know it, you've got a great workbook. An example of a really well-written pre-mediation workbook is Joyce O'Dittison from Winnipeg, Ontario, Canada. And Joyce O'Dittison, she's written many, many books, but one of her most valuable books, in my opinion, is a pre-mediation workbook for unrepresented clients in marriage, family, and child custody cases. Powerful stuff. So think about a workbook. All right, next, again, not something that you would normally think about when I say, hey, are you a writer? And that is to write or create an announcement. It's so easy to just start a social media post or put up a pop-up on your website that just says, hey, I'll be speaking at the American Bar Association's conference, and sort of give the flat details. But you could, again, using Canva, canva.com, have a free account, put together something that's graphically pleasant, appropriate, colorful, that's on message with your brand and is authentic to you and your practice, and put together a really pretty, engaging announcement. It says, hey, I'll be speaking at this event. I hope you can join. If you're not a member, you can find the link on the YouTube video after it's been recorded here. If you've got an organization or an association that you'd like for me to engage with, let me know in the comments, that kind of thing, so that it can be engaging. It can go both ways. All right, number 9, again, something that most people don't think about when we talk about writing skills and how to best leverage them when we've only got a few minutes time, and that is to think about writing a press release. So we just talked about an announcement. You can create an announcement for free on Canva in just a few minutes. So much fun. Honestly, it's like coloring books for adults, but that's a great then piece of writing to leverage into a press release. And a press release, as you know, I'm sure you've read one, many of them over the years, it's a little bit more formal. And you can release a press release to your specific geographic area, to publications of the associations and organizations. Remember the database that we built in the very first step? So you can think about a press release. So again, you've got just a few minutes today. What is it that you would like to share? What announcement do you have? What's newsworthy in your life or in your practice? And then think about how to go about sharing that information. So you've got a few minutes today. Log on to Google and download a couple of templates for press releases. See which one is best suited for you and for your announcement. And then tomorrow you've got another few minutes. So start filling in those fields. You've got another few minutes later this week. Log on and do a comparison between Law 360, which is at law360.com, versus PR Newswire, prnewswire.com, and see which of those has a better audience for your press release, what the price points are for each one, which one best suits your primary, secondary, or tertiary target market reading proclivities. That's what you want to look at. So by the end of the week, you've spent a few minutes each day, and by Friday, you've got a perfect press release that can go out. So that was number 9. Let's look at number 10. Number 10 is writing an email. Now, this is not direct email marketing. This is directed email marketing, which is a much different thing, all about that ED on the end of direct. Directed email marketing is when you sit down and you type up an email that goes specifically to your client list. You can communicate with them about a new publication, a message about a change in your services, a holiday greeting, an invitation to an event, forward a message that you think they might appreciate, forward information about an article, a new law that's coming down from the courts. Whatever it is that is a really good reason to communicate with them, and personalize it and send that out to your client list. Remind them who you are, what you do, and that you're really good at it. They need to think about you next time a case comes into their office. All right, we mentioned earlier creating a blog, and I know that that can sound daunting. It's a big thing to start, but again, if you just do it in little pieces of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's one of those things that if you keep a piece of paper next to you, or notes on your smartphone or your iPad, or however you keep track of lists, maybe you use an AI device, that works really well too. But once you've decided that you want to write a blog, of course, you have to come up with the ideas for the articles that you're going to write. And so if you keep a running list and just add to it, you might see something on the news, you might read a new book, you might have a story that you want to tell from today's mediation, or, just keep a list, a running list. And again, it takes 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, just jot down those ideas, keep that running list. And as you write the article, you check that idea off the list and you move on to the next one. All right, number 12. Remember, we made the database of all of the associations and organizations of your primary target market's interests. Now you've got all of these ideas, you've got your blog, you're thinking about a workbook, thinking about writing a book, your email signatures are perfected, you're ready to go, you've got a really good article. And you now can spend 15, 20, 30 minutes and start going around to all of those associations and organizations. I don't mean going around physically, you can email them, of course, or direct message them on social media, and let them know that you've got this article, and provide them an example and say, here's the title line. And I don't know if that fits into your publishing schedule, but if you would like to use it, it's available. If this isn't the article for you for this next publication, let me know what your publication schedule looks like, and I will write an article that best suits that schedule. So that was number 12. Number 13, again, probably not considered a traditional writing tool in marketing and promoting our practices, but it's an easy one and it's kind of fun. And that is, sit down at your desk and write thank you cards to those participants in your mediations or your arbitrations. Write a card, put it on beautiful cardstock, pen to paper, blue ink, hand address the envelope, put a real stamp on it. Don't send it through a meter machine, and let people know how much you appreciate that they're a client of yours. A thank you card. It's not really what we think about when we talk traditional writing, but it really, really works. It's important to go back to some of those traditional and snail mail policies. All right, 13, we are getting down the list here. Number 14, and the last point, is that if you only have a few minutes and you absolutely no idea what you can write about, what the next project can be, completely creatively blocked, that's okay. Go back and look at what you've previously written. You've got a blog post, you've got an article, pull it up on your computer, maybe do a little editing, maybe do a little cropping, and repost it. Remind people that you wrote this great piece. Send it out again, repost it on your social media platform pages, send that article out again to different editors or new associations or new organizations, so you can reuse it, recycle it, and send it through one more time. So in those few minutes that you've got, you can definitely do something. You can absolutely put your writing skills to work for you, even if you've only got minutes each day. All right. Well, that's me going live for Marketing Monday. If you've got questions, if you've got concerns, please absolutely let me know in the chat what I can help you with, how I can help you create a strategy, what can you write about, how to submit it, what's the best language, all of those kinds of things. And don't forget, I will be live every Monday for Marketing Monday for Mediators and Arbitrators, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And all you have to do is click on my LinkedIn profile, and here we are, live and interactive. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great week and get to work writing some of those pieces.